Hi, I'm Moonbreaker, and welcome to my channel. This is our first session of Pathfinder 2E's Adventure Path Gatewalkers. Unfortunately, we lost the second half of the video due to a glitch, but sit back and enjoy our wild adventures in Seven Arches. Start streaming. And let me make sure to mute myself. That way you guys aren't hearing the double feed, because that has gotten me a couple of times. All right. So at the border gates to Seven Arches, a low bridge across a stream just beyond a bustling caravanserai, Dr. Riddleson bids you guys farewell. But as always, the old doctor has quite a bit to say. Sighing, he uses a black handkerchief to mop the sweat from his age-spotted forehead. I fear this is as far as I accompany you. I have matters to attend to further east. He smiles fondly at you. I've no doubt that you can handle this investigation yourselves. Of all my field researchers, you show the greatest promise for uncovering the secrets of the hidden world. I need not remind you of the importance of your mission. He points to the mysterious rune emblazoned across his throat, the same mark that brought you together, the one you all share. 3 months ago, we embarked upon a mystery. All across the world, elven teleportation gates, Ardora, burst with light and lured people like us in with visions of our greatest desires. A subset of we so-called Gatewalkers returned from the sojourn, some, like you, bearing fascinating new abilities. We all, however, remain ignorant of what befell us on our other side of the doorway, how we came to be marked with this unknown sign, or what may have happened to those who did not return. In every university and seminary, scholars are ransacking their libraries to understand this missing moment. Yet I believe that you, will succeed where they all fail. For a quest into the paranormal is not merely academic, but personal. Toward that end, I've given you my most promising lead, Seven Arches. For centuries, any elf who approached the city's infamous Seven Arches has been subject to a terrible curse. Yet, on the night of the missing moment, the curse was somehow lifted. We need to know why. The city's famed Ardara no doubt holds some of the answers we seek, and moreover, represent a prime research opportunity to study the portals in person. That's where you come in. To help, I've arranged for you to meet an old associate of mine. Fianara Carlastri claims to have crucial information about the Seven Arches. Ah, there she is now. An elven woman wearing traveling leathers and a backpack overflowing with scrolls waves from the Caravansani's porch. And that is what she looks like.
Cool. Ooh, she's pretty.
Yeah.
Very, very, very World of Warcraft feel to her.
Very.
Yeah, if her last name is Windrunner, I will not be surprised.
One of my kin.
Yeah. Any questions for me before I depart?
Yeah, are you doing all right? Your veins look brighter.
It's just this heat. I'm getting old.
Okay.
You know how things are. Things don't quite work the way they're supposed to.
Have
Yeah.
you got any more clues as to what's going on?
Not yet. I'll keep in touch with you, though. I'm sure I'll find something.
Okay, so we will meet again. This is not a farewell.
No, I'm going over to Ernigiven. It's famous for half of it disappearing and reappearing at random intervals. It's been happening for decades, so it's perhaps unrelated to our present matter, but worth investigating all the same.
As are most phenomena.
Indeed.
And this, Funara. What of she? What can you tell me about her? She next to us? Or what
She's a little bit further away, just out of earshot. He kind of leans on his cane and he gets a very wistful look on his face. Ah, an old traveling companion from back before I settled down into my studies. A fine scholar. You'll do well to trust her. And she is fun to look at, too.
I can see that she has a lot of charm to her just by seeing her. But can you tell me more about her expertise?
It has been many years since we've gotten together. Let me think. What was the last thing she was studying on? I know she was studying on the 7 Arches. Something about she doesn't think the ones that everybody sees is real. She thinks the real ones are hidden.
Interesting.
So, I think she was investigating that.
Kind of like she's into like the Matrix theory.
Possibly. But often, sometimes to protect something, you hide it while giving a fake. It happens in war all the time.
These Ayudara maybe just be tourist attractions.
It's possible. But she'll know more about that. Any other questions?
I think it's time to get to work.
All right. I'll leave you to it. And he will actually walk with you up to Finara. Kind of giving her a smile. He's like, Finara, these are my friends. Treat them well. And she'll look at it and looks at him and says, Hey, Doc Eddie, you know I'm going to treat them right. And she'll kind of look at you all over. I don't know what you're doing hanging out with this guy. He's a bit of a crack nut. Brilliant theorist, though. She kind of pokes fun at him a little bit.
I don't ever think he revealed why he's got such a veiny face.
It's part of the mark. It's part of what it's done to him.
I see. I hope we don't look all veiny like that. Do we look
No.
all veiny like
No, you don't. This is something unique to him.
All right, okay.
Dr. Riddleson will actually wave at you guys and walk off as she starts to talk. As I told Doc Eddie, I have some information I think you will find useful. But if you want it, you need to help me with my research first. Deal?
Sure.
Sounds reasonable.
What do you guys say?
Lorelai would actually like to ask what the deal is before she agrees to anything.
Smart woman. I'd like to test a theory, but the Oaken stewards aren't letting elves into 7 Arches, and she casually just taps her ears and kind of looks at you guys. Yeah, you're gonna have problems too. To be honest, I'm not especially keen to test the rumor about the curse suddenly lifting, nor the uptick in attacks from Gorgus. And as she stares at you, she realizes you guys don't quite know what that is. It goes, monstrous shadow-eyed fae, if you're unfamiliar. She shrugs. But what can I say? I'm a reader and a writer, not an adventurer. So here's what I need.
You seem to be good with a bow.
Well, all elves are. It would be a shame if we weren't.
True.
7 Arches
Sorry,
is...
Pop.
Yeah? Oh, you're fine. Oh, 7 Arches is supposedly named for the cluster of the 7 Ardara in the middle of the city. Well, I've been through the old records, and I've reason to believe those arches are fake, decoys to draw attention away from the real arches. But if I want to publish my findings, I need proof. That's where you guys come in. And from her bag, she withdraws a foot-long glass tube with a cluster of hollow bulbs at one end like a mace. This is an aura reader. I've keyed specifically to Ardora. When you pass it through an Ardora, it will record the gate's magical signature. I'd like you to go to the town center, then use this to read the aura of one of the gates here. If I'm right, this will prove that the aura of the supposed 7 arches is all wrong for a true Ardora. But you guys are going to need some help, aren't you?
Well, if we're going against shade creatures, yeah.
Oh, I'm more mean. And she points at the ears. And at this point, you guys can introduce what you guys look like to each other. We'll start with Nick.
Okay. My character is very svelte, thin, non-binary. They go by they, them. And basically, like, my character has like a whip as their main weapon, and a star knife, and they refer to their star knife as the star knife of Saint Dumas, and the scorpion whip of the Crimson Court. And they look around, and they carry themselves in a way that's kind of like nonchalant, very confident, very sort of like forward facing, and they're not afraid of speaking their mind and interrupting, as well as they kind of like try and hide their elfness a little bit, even because of they're an elf, so they have like long hair to like cover their ears and things, but they are looking forward to any sort of like problems and trying to solve them, and they're also like a thaumaturge, so they try to look for weaknesses and knowledge of different creatures to make them weak against their own stature. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we investigate. That's my character.
All right, Thor.
Sabrina is watching her surrounding, studying sort of this road we're on. She has a slight Imbrian accent, which is a kingdom of elves close to here in the River Kingdoms, and she has pupils like a dragon, which are part of her mouth, and very teal. Her lilac hair is in a complete mess, as always, but it is pulled away from her face and held together by a clip made of brambles. And she probably has like a pebble that she's playing with in her hand to keep her distracted until she's called on to introduce herself, in which case she's like, "Oh, yes, sorry, I am Sabrina Vasari. It's a pleasure to meet you. What is this? This is the Hester of Arcane Auras, right?" And she'll just look at whatever the object that
Yes.
elf lady, who I'm terrible at remembering names.
Fanara.
Banara.
Oh, I didn't say my character's name.
No, you didn't.
Gertrude Niflheimer, but Trudy for short. Sorry, I did the interrupting thing that she said she would do.
Sounds very much like you. This is an aura reader. If you hold it within the gate for about 3 to 6 seconds, it will actually read the aura of a gate and tell us what type of magics permeate it. This will be able to tell me if it is a false gate or a real gate, based on the magics that it absorbs.
What does it look like?
It is about a foot long glass rod with bumps at the end, and they're basically there's 7 different ones on the end of this, almost like a
Okay.
mace. It's nothing really fancy. It's surprisingly simple, and the fact you can mostly see through it. All right, Owain. Or Owen, sorry.
It's all right. So Estra is a fairly androgynous person, very pale, covered in layers of dark clothing. They mostly keep her hooded and cloaked, not usually stepping forward to take action or speaking to others unless they have to. When they move to introduce themselves, they say that what they experienced during the missing moment leads them to believe that the Ayudara have some relevance to the boundaries between life and death, and they are here to unpick that mystery to see whether the mysteries of Pharasma are being unfairly used by someone else. And their only motivation is to find out the cause of what these gates are and what they mean. And they step back.
All right, Tracy.
Hey, is my mic working?
Mm-hmm.
Yay. Okay, so my character is Lorelei Silverrose. She's an elf, and her heritage is a Daphne. When she was young, she was pretty much transitioned into a half vampire, and she was pretty much picked up by a local church. She really doesn't remember a whole lot of her past because most of it happened when she was an infant, but she was raised under the order of the Serene, believe is her name. Serene is one of the most popular deities on Galarian by virtue of her, with association in life and giving of son. So naturally, she's had a very conflicted childhood. So she was pretty much raised as a champion to be a holy weapon, which, goes against her own nature a little bit. So she's always wanted a sense of belonging. So she's kind of stoic, she's kind of reserved, she's on guard, she's very tall, she's muscular, but she's also very feminine at the same time. She has scars from battles and stuff, and she's very pale, has silver hair, red eyes, wears dark armor with a red cloak, carries a sword and shield that was given to her by the temple that raised her. And so a lot of her is a mystery. Some of the character has background and history from her, but because of the way she was treated, and naturally, she just has like a general sense of mistrust, but she's starting to learn to connect with people, and is kind of just sort of swept in all this and is wanting to see where it goes. I mean, she's mostly with the party as a sense of order and duty to eliminate whatever these paranormal activities that are going on that are plaguing the local people that has been ordained to her by the temple that raised her. But she's still really trying to discover herself, who she is, and her own sense of belonging as an individual, because her entire life everybody's pretty much told her what she had to be. And yeah, I think that's it, at least for now. I don't want to give away too much. Or did I forget anything?
And I muted myself. No, you're good.
Sorry if you heard.
Okay, the silence was scaring me for a second.
Sorry if you heard me shout what. My internet cut out for like a few seconds.
You're fine.
Mm-hmm.
I need to load back into the game.
Okay. I'll wait until you're loaded back in.
I'm in.
So...
I think there's definitely a slight split in the party between, like,
yeah.
Sabrina is absolutely using Lorelei as, like, a little bit of a shield from the other two.
Yes, Lorelei is definitely the tank of the group. She's a sword, she's a shield, she's the protector, she's all that stuff. vampiric Templar of the sun.
Well, so I'm gonna switch you guys over to the map of Seven Arches, and really, it's gonna do that to me. All right.
Are we on the outskirts, or within the city proper?
You are a couple of miles down the road.
Okay.
So you're outside of Seven Arches. And you guys cannot see, can you?
No.
I
not at
see
all.
names. I see bullet points, but that's it. Everything else is just darkness.
All right, I'm going to put you guys on the map because that way.
Okay, now a horse might come in handy.
Yeah, this is where the horse might come in handy amongst many other possible scenarios. All right. So she kind of looks you guys over. She notices that you kind of have pairs of two here that are congregating together. Now, I know I'm asking you to do this, but try to be discreet. The Oaken Stewards aren't too happy with people meddling with things. And they don't take kindly to troublemakers. But considering they still don't like elves, I think some of you guys are going to need some things, aren't you? Because you guys can't just walk in there.
That's a lot of dice.
So she actually will offer you guys disguise kits and replacement cosmetics.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
And
I could just see Lorelei pulling up a hood and calling it good.
By the way, you can hide that if that's the
No.
streamer one.
the supplies I purposely put for you guys to be able to see.
Oh, okay.
So you guys can see what she's giving you. And you guys can pick up who wants to carry it. So yeah, the streamer can't see it.
Okay. Alright.
Let's see. I do not see supplies.
If you look, there should be a mask token on the map. If you double click on that, it is lootable. And you'll be able to be able to see the disguise kit.
And Estra wouldn't need to disguise themselves, I imagine.
Nope, it's the obvious elves in the group that need to disguise themselves, since elves are not welcome.
Indeed.
Obvious and unapologetic.
Like, could you make your ears look a bit different to like a different ancestry?
With some putty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what the disguise kit is for.
Okay, cool.
Putty, skin glue.
Who's taking the disguise kit? It's a bit heavy.
Oh, that is disguise kit like a crafting check or you use it?
It just says you get
It's
it.
an impersonate action when you choose to use it using the deception skill.
Okay.
I'll be really good at that.
So will I.
I've successfully impersonated a dragon's mother, so I'm pretty awesome at this.
Yeah, this is an exploration activity. Is what impersonate is. You create.
Well, I mean, if we edit down and use it now, we wouldn't have to carry it around with us, would we?
Well, you never know when you're going to have to refresh your disguises, which is why you have to keep it on hand. And the replacement cosmetics are to be able to refill it as needed.
Kind of like a thieves' tools. I can take it. I've got lots of space.
If you've got the bulk,
Yeah, I'll take it.
because
Mhm.
I have nothing.
Because there's 5 of them. We could just take one each from the disguise kit replacement cosmetics, and I'll take the disguise kit itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could take it too, without being encumbered.
Yep. So how impersonation works, because you're basically just trying to impersonate a different ancestry, is the creatures have a chance to detect your deception only if they use a seek action to attempt against your deception. Or if you attempt to directly interact with someone while disguised. then I'll roll a secret check to see if they happen to notice that you are disguised.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Kind of like how hazards work.
Yep, very similar to how
Yeah.
hazards work.
Yeah.
If you succeed, you trick the creature into thinking you are the person you or ancestry you are disguised as. You might have to attempt a new check if your behavior changes. So be cognizant of how you present yourselves. So if you suddenly switch gears, that can afford them another check. If failure, the creature can tell you're not who you claim to be, and if it's a critical failure, not only can they tell you're not who they claim to be, they recognize you as if you had no disguise on. So basically, it's you're wearing the fake ears so badly that they're like, no, you're obviously an elf.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing.
All right. So we're cosplaying.
Yes, so you're cosplaying.
Okay.
What are you going to disguise yourselves as?
Yep. You guys gotta tell me that.
I'm gonna make it really easy, like disguised as a human. Just like have the ears, like I don't know how I would do it. Like I can't chop them off or fold them back, can I?
Nope.
I was thinking that I might give myself some extra, like, scarring, and then make it so that it looks like my ears are sewn on. Like I'm some Ustalavi, monster that somebody decided to put elven ears on.
Okay, that's definitely a creative way of doing it.
I'm gonna definitely have contact lenses because if I'm an elf, usually I have like no pupils, so I'm gonna have contact lenses. I'm gonna have what else am I gonna do? It's just the ear thing. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with the ear thing. I'm gonna probably like sellotape them back and then just make them blend with my hair.
Okay.
So I've got like long, like really long hair.
All right. So
And since I'm going to have to hide like my gear, I think the best thing since I'm going to do is just play up with my pale skin and my gray hair and just like throw a big old like sheet over me and like and just look like a big old homeless lady.
Do you
Like
have,
someone that's destitute and poor and maybe a beggar, someone that people would avoid. Just have like a hood over my head to cover my ears.
Do you have like fangs as well?
Yes, I also have things which would set people off.
Yeah.
From thinking I'm elf by glance, and it would also make people look at me and be like, I don't want to like go near that.
all right. So
It's also the only way I could think to hide my full plate armor and shield and sword without drawing attention.
Do you need to be hiding your armor?
I think she's more saying that it's the fact that she's a big, bulky paladin
Oh.
or
Right.
champion. She's just trying to make you seem not as suspicious.
Food,
Uh-huh.
Mom.
All right, go get your food. All right,
It's
so
still...
yes, go ahead.
No, it's not important. Please continue.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was just going to ask you guys to give me blind deception or impersonate rolls.
What a shame. I'm the best in the party and I don't have to do it.
That's not true. We're tied.
Oh, are you? Oh, good.
I have a +7 as well.
Nice.
And I would bet that Nick also does.
It is a useful skill.
We're doing what rolls?
Do you have the basic actions macro?
No, I don't think I do.
Okay. So, if you go to the compendium, which is the closed book with the symbol of the world, go down to macros, or you can type in shared under shared compendiums. And hi, Casper. Yes, I love you. Mwah. Go back down.
Aw.
Yeah, he's my old man. If you go to shared macros, There's a folder for it. If you open that up, there is a basic actions macro that I have saved on that you can drag to your macro bar. Did you find it?
Let's see. Compendium packs. I'm looking for shared macros.
Yep. You'll scroll all the way down to the macros. And if you can't find it, I could sign in as you and throw you in
Okay,
there. You found it? You open that
Yeah.
folder, there's a basic actions macro you should be able to drag to your macro bar.
okay.
And if you click
Yeah.
on that, you will see all the different actions that you can take.
Oh, neat.
Mm-hmm. And if you click on impersonate, you should be able, it should draw up a role, and you need to select blind GM role.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then when Nick returns, we will do that. This, as you can see, is 7 Arches while he's doing that. There are various different places that you can visit before you visit the Arch Plaza. So if you are interested in looking around, you can. You could also gather information. That's something you guys can do while you're in town, and even possibly before you, if you guys want to, try to recall what you know of 7 Arches.
I would definitely like to do a recall knowledge on 7 Arches.
All right.
Oh, that's the wrong... Oh, wait, no, I did click the right thing.
All right, yeah.
The impersonate action popped up for me, and I was like, what?
Okay.
Oh,
I'll take your first one.
Yeah.
I'll delete that one so I don't mix them up.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Basic information. We will start with Estra. Society, there we go. All right. So, Estra, you have heard a little bit about 7 Arches, but more specifically, you know that long ago, elves dwelled in the verdant forest of the 7 Arches, and it's believed that they built these stone arches that actually give these region and its capital city their name. Now it's overseen by Oaken Stewards. They're enigmatic druids who prohibit elves from even entering the kingdom's borders. This actually has to do with the Obnubilit curse.
Omnubilit curse.
Yes, thank you. A mysterious affliction that kills any elf who dares goes near it. In the wake of the missing moment, however, the rumor has it, but this curse has been lifted.
Intriguing. Thank you.
All right. And Sabrina. Lorelei, are you going to do a recall knowledge also?
Yes, I will.
All right. Give me a blind roll. I'm going to save Sabrina for last.
I don't know if I'm glad or worried.
You can be both if you like.
You can be both if you like. Yep.
It's not letting me click on it for some reason.
Have you got it in your bar?
Yeah, with the basic actions macro.
Click on your token and then try it.
No, that didn't fix it.
Have you got the
Yeah,
recall
must
knowledge macro in your bar?
I don't think she does.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
doing it through.
She's doing it through the basic actions. Roll me a society check then, if it
A
will let
society.
you.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely do that.
Make sure it's blind. And part of the reason I'm doing this and having you guys do the rolls instead of me is just to get those that are new to Foundry used to it. And they can find things.
Yeah.
All right. You haven't rolled yet.
Yeah, where is my society?
Under skills in your HUD up top.
Yep.
You don't have to open your character sheet or anything.
Oh, okay.
And blind GM.
Blind GM roll. There it goes.
Okay. So I'm going to both Lore and Sabrina know this. You know everything that I told your character, Estra. In addition, you know that it is rife with magical wildlife and fantastical creatures. Peculiarly, shadow fae called Gorgas are among the region's most troublesome native denizens. Since the missing moment, Gorga attacks against Seven Arches homesteaders have been more frequent and vicious. So when she mentioned Gorgas before, you have actually already heard about the attacks.
Ooh. Lorelei would share this knowledge with everybody else so that way we were all prepared.
All right. You want me to
Can
read
I
it off for
recall
you, Nick?
knowledge-
Yes, you can
What's
recall
that?
knowledge.
Can I recall knowledge on Gorgas with my esoteric lore?
I will allow it. As far as you know, a post esoteric knowledge for me, please. I gotta make sure I'm giving you the right thing on this one.
Crunch begins.
The crunch begins. All right.
Anything with monsters?
Anything with yeah, definitely anything with monsters. But this is more fun. I get to have fun with this one.
Good.
All right, so Gorgas are fey embodiments of creatures in the dark.
Mhm.
And they love to play with people. Some of their favorite tricks and stuff like that happen to be pretending to be something scary, only then to come up and give you hugs and kisses. But because people think they're scary, they immediately run away. And so they're often left sad and lonely because everybody thinks that they're scary, very scary.
Did I crit fail?
And elves and Gorgas actually have an interesting relationship. It is actually a hatred.
Oh, okay.
They believe that the elves actually killed someone of note for them. And so they seek vengeance against elves.
Okay.
The exact specifics you are unaware of, though.
It was me. I did it.
It was me, Barry. It was me.
I mean, we may walk into one of these gates and it just takes us back in time. Who knows?
Indeed.
Mm.
But that is what you know of Gorgas.
Okay. Is that what I believe or what I know?
That is what you believe and know.
Okay. I relay this information to everyone, and I'll just be like, "Well, you see, Gorgas, they have little history between the elves and so on and so on and so on." I just like belay the point a bit too much, and I then think about like I just ask, so what should we do about them, and how should we spot them? Anyone?
I'm gonna shrug. I don't know. They hate us. They'll just attack.
I think the best thing to do would be to disguise ourselves to get our mission accomplished and get out before we draw attention.
Well, yes, but I've read good reviews about the Honeybrush Cabaret, and I kind of wanted to go.
You can't believe Yelp.
Fuck.
No, it had
Oh.
more than one review.
So the
Oh, no.
cabaret, where are you guys going?
I think we're probably gonna head to the Arch Plaza.
Is that where you guys want to go
Um,
first?
Estra would be interested to know if there are any temples or sacred places, but for the moment,
You can ask around. You can gather information in town once you guys get there.
Yeah.
So you guys
I'm
can go
just
ahead and move yourselves in.
I'm just letting you know that my my ISP's give me shit. So.
Yes, I saw you go black there for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm also going in with like the understanding that once we get this, once we probably do this favor for them, we might have to go back into the city, or we would at least have the opportunity to. I would hope.
Yep. So, at a glance, Seven Arches is built at the confluence of two streams, the Windwater and Fogmorn Creek, which continue their flow eastward to eventually join the Selin River. A third artificial waterway known as the Canal connects the two streams west of their natural meeting, turning the city central district into an island. This entire city is built atop the stone ruins of a pre-Earthfall elven settlement, and much of that is repurposed architecture is still actually visible beneath the wooden human additions, and the vines seem to cover every surface of the city. Trees and shrubs line the streets and flourish in parks, with many residents simply building around them rather than risk the ire of the Oaken stewards. So, who all needed to disguise and who did disguise?
Well, I needed to. Well, Trudy needed to.
Yep. Have you made your check? I don't remember
Have I
seeing
what?
it.
Made my
Impersonate.
impersonate check. Let's see. If
so
it's-
in order to disguise, you need to do deception,
Yep.
assuming that anyone's actually looking at you.
And I have made my deception.
Yep. Okay.
Is it a public roll or blind roll?
It's okay. It's a blind roll, and you've already made yours, Lore. I got yours.
Oh, yeah.
It just I noticed in my notes I didn't have Trudy's, so
Just wobbling around, huddled over little homeless lady.
So as you approach the gates, you notice that for the most part, people are let through. They looked a little bit at the three of you, and especially at Trudy, but eventually waved you through.
Oh, damn.
Seems like you're always the gossip, Trudy.
Oh, shush you.
All right. So
Telling you, avoid the homeless. I got the perfect disguise.
That's true. Nobody cares about you.
so what do you guys want to do now that you have successfully made it inside? We'll start with
So,
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna pick somebody because everybody was quiet. So go ahead.
So our objective here is to investigate the origins of the lifting of the curse and, by extension, the missing moment by helping our new friend with her research, and she in return will give us information. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she wants us to gather information while in the city for her.
Yes, specifically in Arch Plaza over here.
Mhm.
She
Yeah.
wants you guys to find a way to take one of the rods and set it in one of the arches so it could read the magical readings. And she said it'd take about 3 to 6 seconds.
Okay.
And then I imagine we have to take the rod back to her, right?
And then you would have to take the rod back to her so she could read what it says.
Yeah.
But before you head there, you can head to any of these locations that you see on the map. You can gather information. You could beg on the streets like a homeless person would. See if you can gain some coin. It's like, what do you guys want to do?
I'd like to gather some information.
All right.
Yeah, I would like to see if there's like a. I want to know where all the tourist traps are.
All right. So that's going to be the focus of your gather information.
I am going to go to the local brothel to hear any sort of talk of like from like just hang out like near the brothel and the tavern, like the brothel or something. And then I'm just gonna listen out for any sort of like people in high positions to see if there's any information that we should know.
All right.
Very specific.
Give me a roll.
Oh, do gather information roll, yeah?
Yep. All right.
Do you-
Anybody
do you
else
want me
wanting to
to-
gather information?
Yeah, I'd like to gather information from sacred and magical places in the city walls, particularly temples and priests, to see if they understand anything that might be useful to us about the curse or about the missing moment.
All right. So Trudy is going to be coming over here.
And I will follow my friend.
Let's see. Let's see. Estra, you'll be over here. And where is Sabrina wanting to go?
Sabrina wants to just sort of gather information on like tourist attractions.
All right, so you would probably go here, the vine hold. Okay.
Okay.
So let's start with Sabrina. Let's see. Yours is going to be so much fun. Sabrina, as you are gathering information, a loquacious gnome adventurer beckons you to come closer, and he whispers loudly in your ear, "The druids got that barrier up for a reason. Step past it, the magic will turn you into a squirrel quicker than you can say acorn. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. See that squirrel over there? That was a person." And then he wanders off.
Where is the barrier he's mentioning? And also, sense the fuck motive.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, look at this.
He is telling the honest God's truth.
Can I also do a perception check to see if he smells like he's been drinking?
Yes, you can.
Okay. just be on my character?
Mm-hmm. It is a basic action too, since motive should be one of them.
I already did the sense motive. I was doing the perception.
Ah. He smells fruity, but not as liquor or alcohol.
Okay.
He's wearing a very interesting perfume. You're not sure if it's supposed to be berries or roses. It might be both. But no, he seems completely sober.
Bit of a try hard. Where was this barrier exactly? Was it like right where I am?
So, since he's pointing towards the Arch Plaza,
Okay.
you know it has something to do with the Seven Arches, so there's probably a barrier there, some type of magic to keep people away.
Interesting.
Question: what's the Justice House, and would Lorelei have known about it before going into the city?
No, you wouldn't really know specific places, but the Justice House is a large building that houses Seven Arches courts, jail, and offices for government officials. This is something very easily able to find out. So while this is where courts and everything are held, and you have judiciaries there, everybody knows that the Oaken Stewards are the ones that actually hold final sway. So anything that the judges do, if an Oaken Steward comes in and says, nope, we're not doing that, Oaken Stewards overrules them. But since they don't usually deal with the common rabble of the city for petty crimes or things like that, usually that does not happen. But everybody knows it can. All right. So, Trudy,
Yeah.
you are hanging out near the Honeybrush Cabaret, which is a great place to drink. You find out that they don't really have a brothel here in the city that's
Oh.
at least open during the day. You have heard rumors that there might be a house of ill repute, but nobody says anything specific.
I see.
But you do know that the entertainments here range from whimsical faith-themed musicals to bloody pit fights to satirical comedies baiting the Oaken Stewards. It's clear that the people here live up to their motto of something new every night. And
I see.
the owner, Kara Woodsong, has postings up for fresh talent and fresher ideas. Bring him something new and you may get paid for it.
I will definitely go to that.
All right.
I will also I will go to them and say I can put on a whip show.
Ooh.
Sort of like, you know,
Show
a
me a
really bad-
performance.
show
Yeah,
performance.
yeah.
All right.
Show me a performance.
Okay, I'll give you a performance. What would
Can
you-
Lorelei, since I follow him, can Lorelei attempt to interject here?
Sure. Role play. This is your theater.
Trudy, not sure if you realize this, but we're Arcana isn't exactly welcomed here, and we're supposed to be keeping a low profile. I don't think putting on a whip show is the best way to go about that.
What do you mean
Well-
you're kind? You mean beggars and stuff? This is a theater. Beggars are allowed.
Oh no, she means actors.
Oh.
The lowest of the low.
I run a theater. Of course actors are welcome.
I totally understand what she meant, but you know, we're kind of like famous actors from outside of the city, and we get a lot of flack sometimes, and that's why we say our kind. You know, it's like our little debutante, if you get what I'm saying.
I see. Well, here, show me some of your work. I want to see this.
Okay, I roll a performance check, yeah.
Yeah, you roll a performance
Lorelei
check.
would just quietly back off and facepalm. He blows our cover, I swear to God.
You almost did.
Where's performance? I just got to roll it on my sheet, don't I?
It'll be in your skills, in your HUD.
Yep, in your head.
Is it secret? Yeah.
Yes, secret. Because you think you did awesome no matter what you roll. You knocked it out of the park. So, Lorelai, as you are watching this disaster of a performance, it is almost comical how bad it is.
Yeah, it's almost if I knew that was what was going to happen.
There is not an ounce of performance in this. It is lots of it is lots of whip cracking that ends up nearly tagging the owner of the place. One time she goes to do a fancy trick, or they go to do a fancy trick, and ends up snapping onto a chair. Was meant to basically flip it up, ends up flipping on top of their head. And while it comes off very comedic, it was very clear that there's no real skill involved with what they were trying to do. And you can see Kara over there in the background just trying so hard not to laugh out loud.
Fortunately, since Laura's dead inside, she's totally just doing like Raven from Teen Titans, just glaring at Beast Boy, making an ass of himself, and just mostly scanning to room to make sure that nobody realizes like he's an elf and like is this blue is disguise. That's all I care about.
So when it's over,
did they know I'm an elf now?
No, it's not that bad. You didn't just.
Oh, okay.
You get this. Come back to me in a couple of weeks after you've practiced. Think you're a little rusty on your whip.
Well, we have had like a couple of weeks travel to get here.
Yeah, come back in a couple of weeks and try out again. Cause well, the idea is novel. The execution needs some work.
By the way, whilst I'm here, maybe I can get some information on whether who are the high risers and big spenders around here? Or the people who are of importance.
Well, well, you got the mayor, obviously, Esmet Silkenlock. She's a willowy human of sorts. Then you have
what's her demeanor like? How would I approach her if I want to get on her good side?
Well, let's see. No, I can't tell you that. Oh. Give me a diplomacy check to see how much information you can get from him.
All right. I will do that. Diplomacy. And that's a secret check.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know why I'm so worried his performance was so ungraceful. There's no way that they would mistake us for elves now.
That was my plan all along.
I don't believe for a second that you have a plan.
Did anyone else take performance, or was it just me?
I've got it.
Okay.
I don't.
I gathered.
Not much I could say. They don't hang out here.
I see.
But I've got to get back to work. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, fair enough. I will practice my whip dance for you.
Do that.
Next time I see, I'm gonna blow you away, and we'll have the best night of your life.
Gonna take an eye out.
We'll see. All right. See you later.
Ciao.
Ciao. So yeah, he will make a swift exit stage left.
Yeah.
And the second that we're not an eye shot of anybody, I'm going to smack Shuri in the back of the head and call him a gack and show off.
Oh, well, I tried. At least I tried.
You could have tried when we're not trying to hide who we are.
Well,
All
we've
right.
got two goals: one to keep safe, and one to gather information. I think one's more important than the other.
Estra, let's go to you.
Okay.
So you are looking for places. So you will
Of
notice
either,
there's not
yeah.
really that many temples here.
Mhm.
The predominant faith seems to be either the Green Faith or Gazra,
Mhm.
as it is mostly a druid-filled city. But you will find occasional shrines and people tending them.
Mhm.
But there is no one set place. It's as you travel through the city. So if you will give me a gather information, I can see what you hear.
Okay.
Uh, During one of your stops, you stop at one of the bars. Uh, and it happens to be a bar dedicated to Kate and Kayleen.
Ooh.
And
That's a temple.
exactly. A tired barman polishes a glass as he sits there and talks to you because it's kind of slow. He's like, ever since the Gorgas started hunting closer to the city, there have been 2 oaken steward posted at the arches, plus an ensorcelled rope. If you even try to go under or over it, it starts screaming like a rabid squirrel. Birds and things are always setting it off. It's a real headache. Part of the reason I'm glad there's so many buildings between here and there. But on occasion, on a good day, you can hear it even in here. And he keeps wiping down his glass. You want something to drink?
She, let me think. They ask for a glass of wine, and then they ask, what is the reasoning for this barrier?
Oh, it's just to give the Oaken stewards extra warning. I mean, as far as I know, I think there's 1 or 2 posted there, but they can't, watch all 360 degrees all the time. So they probably put it up there just to give them a heads up. Hey, somebody's crossing the rope to get to the arches. But if I remember right, there's a break in it, like right at the front. So when people who do have permission to go up to it can go up to it, they can go through that and it won't set it off.
Very useful information. Thank you for letting me know.
You're welcome. And he will give you a good wine with a clean glass.
That is very thoughtful. I do look like an ominous, portent of death.
I've been a bartender for a very long time. I've learned not to judge. Plus, if you're nice to death, at least she's nice back.
That is very
Yeah.
true. So
It's just-
privately, I was going to, reach into the beyond and give him a long and detailed, account of how exactly he's going to die. But because he's so nice, I'm not going to do that.
Thank you.
But just watch out for, cats, squirrels, cabbages, and large falling objects.
I did have a cabbage fall on my head the other day. I'll keep that in mind.
You're welcome.
But yeah, you're able to find out that information and make a friend and a bartender.
Very nice, thank you.
All right. Anything else you guys want to do?
Since we passed them on the way here, I want to go check out the barracks and try to kind of see if I can get a sense of what the guard route is to try to avoid them.
All right. So heading towards the Thornleaf Barracks, this large U-shaped building houses, you would guess, about maybe 100 to 200 people could fit inside of it. The military branch of Seven Arches is called the Underbrush. Captain Desthena Carcasian is the leader of the Underbrush, though he and his special retinue regularly leave the city to tour the rest of the Seven Arches territory. On occasion, he can be found here. He is not here today, though. But you will see that for the most part, the patrols and stuff like that are like any city. They're regular, but they're not super frequent. It's more just to keep the peace than it is thinking that there's a threat coming. On the outside of the city, you will find more solid patrols, basically going around the outside along these areas. And that is specifically because of the increase in the Gorga's attacks. They're basically helping rebuff anything that comes towards the city.
Right.
Awesome. So it shouldn't be too hard to get into the Arch Plaza, and we shouldn't have to worry about.
Do you wish to gather
Yeah.
information while you are hanging around that area?
Yes, I want to sit there and eavesdrop,
All right.
gather information. What do I roll?
That would be a diplomacy check. Gather information under basic actions and make sure it's a blind roll. You're sitting there trying to eavesdrop, and you're trying to be as inconspicuous as possible when this old farmer comes trundling down the street. And he kind of stops, stares, glares at you, lifts up his cane. Now you quit staring and move along. You don't need to be in front of this place. Think you better make like a barge and shove off before I call the stewards on you, because you're acting suspicious.
Lorelei would do what any homeless beggar would do now, and to draw attention to herself and comply.
All right, that is the information you guys have.
Wow, I'm so good at what I do.
Yep.
I'm guessing that the Quaking Stacks is some sort of library.
That's
So-
totally going to go back to Trude and tell her.
The
What a
it
pair of
is a library. Let's-
Perhaps when we've got more time, we can go there and do research when we've got the
Yep, I can give
spare
you a
time
quick.
for it.
I can give you a quick description of what it looks like on the outside.
Yes, please.
The Grand Library is one of the city's tallest structures, and it is unlike any other. You can tell it was once a spiraling stone tower that tapered into a cone like a snail's shell. Its ruins have been thoroughly taken over by a grove of magical aspen trees. Resident druid barbarians have shaped the tree boles into shelves and branches into roofs to protect the library's collection of birch bark scrolls and leather-bound tomes. Most incredible, however, is that the way this semi-sentient grove, in fact, a vast being connected by roots, actually functions as a living database. And this is something that you find out because it's part of the advertisings for it. The library tree stores vast quantities of information in its sap and can even guide readers to the books they need.
Lovely. And mystical.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So after we've toured our various locations, do we meet up again?
Yes, wherever you guys want to meet up.
Let's meet up at the Cade and Kalen bar.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys will meet up there.
Mm-hmm.
Do we all know to meet at the same place before we went in?
You guys did not coordinate that.
No.
We did not.
So, give me. Let's see. Estra's already there, so we'll leave Estra there. Everybody, give me a D4 roll.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody else, give me a D4 roll. We'll do it this way. And Lore.
There it goes.
All right. So, Lore, since you wandered off from Trudy, you happened to decide that you were going to head down that street because you were getting chased off by the farmer. And you basically snuck your way into the bar and happened to spot Sabrina as you were going there and were able to wave her down as you headed into the bar to basically meet up. Once you entered, you see Estra sitting there drinking wine. Trudy, and this is about 2 hours after you guys have gathered the information, because you realized you had forgot to decide where you were going to meet back up. Trudy, you were busy trying to gather information and it just kept eluding you. You couldn't quite find anything specific. And about 3 hours after you've put on your little show and tried your bit, you make your way into the Tavern of Cade and Kayleen. It is called the Wooden Mug. And no kidding, its sign is just a wooden mug. It's nothing fancy. And as you head inside, you will see your other compatriots sitting there and drinking.
Hello there. Is this the place where I get blessings from Cade and Kaelin?
The bartender kind of just looks up. What's your poison?
Anything that doesn't cost too much?
Or kill you.
Or kill me.
I facepalm.
He'll take a nice one cup and you'll notice that there's shelves, nice glasses, nice cups. He takes just a regular generic cup, pulls it down, goes to a keg, opens it up, fills it up, puts it on the bar. Drink it and tell me how much it's worth.
My undying devotion to our same beliefs.
And you will drink it down.
Yep.
If you want to give me either a alcohol lore or a crafting check to see if you can determine how expensive it is.
Okay. Poor.
This is the best stuff you have ever tasted. This has to be expensive.
I'm really grateful for the alcohol that you just provided me.
Well, so put your coin down.
I have no coin. That's why I said what I said.
He grins. It's like, all right.
Would Lorelai be overhearing all this?
Oh, it's very obvious. Like, because
How much does he owe?
Would the barkeep accept payment from one of us?
Yes, he will, if you're paying in his stead.
Well, Trudy did help me when we were both homeless on the streets. And she's kind of a wreck, so I offer to cover her drink and, you know, make use of my positive relationship with the bartender.
The bartender will smile. All right, if you vouch for this one, I'll allow it. Oh,
Thank you.
between the wine and everything, it's going to be 3 silver.
Lorelai would also make a point to, you know, regale everyone with the story of the whip show and the spectacle it was.
What do you mean?
Brina is going to do mock surprise.
What do you mean I performed amazingly?
Oh, I'm sure that's what you thought. You literally destroyed half of the bar. I'm surprised you didn't hit somebody.
I mean, at least I'm effective with the whip.
I don't know if it's really being effective if you just hit everything. Isn't the goal of proficiency to hit only what you want?
Maybe, but sometimes you just have to let loose. Feel it around a bit.
Sometimes.
So what did we learn on our peregrinations through the city?
Well, we learned that there is a mayor, and their name is, I really should take notes.
Or stop drinking so much ale?
That works too.
True.
I learned that the local barracks can hold about 100 to 200 soldiers, but the patrol is pretty light and casual, meant to only keep the peace, so we should have a pretty wide window of opportunity to slip in, get our business done, and get out.
We learned that there's a break in the barrier. It's not 360 degrees around. There is a way through.
Oh, that's good. I heard that if you pass through the barrier, you get turned into a squirrel, and that all the squirrels around here are actually former residents.
Whereas the bartender here claimed that it simply drives people into temporary screaming madness.
I want to cast Detect Magic.
Of course you did.
That's my new insight check as a toxic player.
So there is magic in the bar.
Ooh. Interesting. And luckily, because I have some contact lenses or something, that you don't see my eyes glow when I'm detecting.
Mm-hmm.
Within 30 feet, so inside the bar.
Yep, inside the bar.
Interesting. I keep that to myself until we leave the bar.
Okay. So what are you guys gonna do? You gotta plan out your approach.
Yeah, so we should probably go to the plaza and scout the location. What do people think?
I'm definitely all for that.
Before we do that, if I do detect magic, does it sense people who are magical?
You receive no information beyond the presence or absence of magic.
Okay.
So you can choose to ignore like the magical things we're carrying and the magical auras we have, but other than that, it won't tell you anything.
Okay. Does anyone look like of interest or like dressed differently or not like a commoner inside the bar?
Give me a luck roll.
A luck roll. That D100, yeah?
Yep, that's the D100.
84.
Nope. Nobody of particular note.
I'm doing really bad, aren't I? I'm down bad. I'm down bad.
We're doing quite abysmal.
Well, it might not be someone, it might be something. It might be a magical object, too. It could literally be anything magical.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a charm to, keep the food fresh, or a security thing above the door to guard it while the bar is closed. There's
You
no way
know,
of
it's
knowing.
funny that you mentioned the charm, because what if that is what made your wine, that made it taste so good? Is it just this bar has a magical charm that makes even the dirtiest swill taste like the best brew?
I think Cade and Kayleen wouldn't be very happy with that.
True.
Got to enjoy it in all its good and bad. That's half the fun.
Because if I look at my edicts, I can see what they like.
Drinking, freeing slaves, seeking glory, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And an anathema is to waste alcohol, be mean or standoffish when drunk, and own a slave.
Mm-hmm.
So they should be they should be like, if you really like Cade and Kaelin, you should be someone who's a connoisseur of different brew.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think
Is it one
we
of those like oak barrel things where they get like a taste tester that comes out? Is it like it's really posh or something?
You want a flight of like 7 Archers alcohol
Yeah.
at lunch.
Yeah.
All right.
Trudy lives on the edge.
You realize you're also broke.
I'm not paying for any more of your drinks.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I will come back later, and then there will be a reckoning.
So, no kidding, when Trudy was talking about that, the bartender was looking at Estra. Like with the arched eyebrow, like, are you paying? Hearing that you weren't, he went back to cleaning up.
Very good.
So
I
what?
found it interesting that the very most minor favor of Kate and Kayleen means that you never ever get hungover ever again.
Can always enjoy the party.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Does it protect you from like alcohol poisoning?
I don't think so.
Just the hangover.
And he doesn't like alcoholics either.
Interesting.
Yep. He's a social drinker, not an alcoholic.
Mm.
I wonder if Caden Kalen's a stoner as well.
Maybe one day you'll ask him.
Yeah, I will.
We face to face with a panoply of gods, and you'll be like, "Oh my god, is that Kate and Kayleen? You got to tell me, do you blaze it, man? Do you blaze it?"
Just smoke a bowl with him.
Yeah. do you take part at the flay leaf?
I'll sit and read depressing poetry with Pharasma.
Me and Desna are gonna do some wild shit.
All right.
So, what's our next course?
I think we should go. I mean, we've learned about the barriers, so we could slip in. No? Or do we feel like we need more information?
I feel like we should at least scout out the stuff around the Arch Plaza to make sure that we won't be seen. We haven't been to the Quaking Stacks yet. We should actually just go to the Justice House to, see what kind of guards that are standing outside of it as well. Because somebody has already been to the Vine Howl, right?